Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Thank you for joining us for the 2021 NAGDCA Awards presentation. We're thrilled to be here today to recognize and celebrate the tremendous work each of you do every single day to support your retirement plan participants. I marvel every year when we go through these and say, man, I gotta look at that, doing that for our plan. So during today's presentation, we'll recognize all of this year's award-winning plans and hear from the 4 nominees for the prestigious Art Caple President's Award that we give out annually, and then announce the winner of that prestigious award live today. So excited for that. Before we jump in, I'd like to share a little bit about NAGDCA's awards program. The awards program consists of really 2 types of awards, which are both given annually. The leadership awards recognize kind of the brightest ideas and most innovative solutions from across the public sector, defined contribution industry. NAGDCA government members are eligible for the leadership awards, which are given in 4 main categories, plus we added an additional category this year as well. In addition to the leadership awards, NAGDCA also awards 1 plan each year with the prestigious NAGDCA Art Caple President's Award. The President's Award was founded in 2019 to commemorate the life work of past NAGDCA President Art Caple, who really devoted his career to helping public sector employees prepare for retirement. Before we recognize this year's winners, I'd like to first to thank 2 groups who made the 2021 awards program possible. First, a huge thanks to the 2021 Awards Committee, who volunteered their time to review and score all the leadership award nominations. Not an easy task. Just to kind of name those individuals, you have this on your screen, but the one and only Mr. Rash Cousineau from the highest group. We had our vice chair, Brooke Rowden from Mosers from Missouri, who that group has been the recipient of multiple awards throughout the year. They do an amazing job. We have Mr. Bill Abramowitz from AIG Retirement Services, Kimberly Birch Garcia from the County of Los Angeles, Don Cullen from our friends at Mission Square Retirement, Mike Golajuch from the city of and county of Honolulu, and Miss Amy Heil from our good friends over at Voya Financial. Robert Luciani, our friends from Prudential Retirement, and John Stegel from our friends from Nationwide. So thank you to each of you for your time and your commitment and just your dedication towards NAGDCA as an organization, as well as towards the awards. It's this whole process a real time-consuming and tedious process that we do, and we have a great group of volunteers each year. Next, a big thanks to the group of past NAGDCA presidents who graciously agreed to take on the difficult task of selecting the top project from many great nominations. Thanks again to all of you for your time, your expertise, and your support. I'd like to now turn the time over to the, let's see here. Bear with me for just 1 second, I apologize. And you get to see here the 4 nominees from that are being presented for the Art Caple President's Award here. And certainly you'll get to hear from all of them here in just a little bit. But I'd like to turn the time over to Rash, the one and only Rash Cousineau. for him to go through. And I apologize, I'm having some technical difficulties here. But Rosh, let me tell you a little bit about Rosh. He is the senior consultant for the highest group and focuses on the firm's retirement plan sponsor clients. He has over 20 years of experience in the public sector retirement services industry and has been a member of the NAGDCA Awards Committee since 2017. Rosh, thanks so much for being here today and for your just dedicated years of service on the committee. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you. And I will, without further ado, turn it right over to the man, the myth, Rosh Kuzino.
Thank you, Rob. And I'm hopeful that everyone can see and hear me. So talking about the 2021 Leadership Awards Program, Rob had mentioned there's 5 categories this year. So typically we have our 4 cornerstone categories, and we've added the new for 2021. So looking back to 2020, the COVID-19 Response category. There was a lot of discussion from the awards committee about how many responses would we receive, because really in 2020, everyone, right? Everything was COVID-19. And so we ended up with about half of the responses were COVID-19 responses. But the way it was set up is that all of our NAGDCA submissions were submitted for the 4 cornerstone categories. And then you could just check if you would also like your submission, for example, for National Retirement Security Month, to also be evaluated as a COVID-19 submission. So of the 45 submissions we received, 25 of those, just over half, checked the box and said we'd also like to be considered as a COVID-19 response, a submission. So just to give you some quick numbers before we go to the next page, we had 45 submissions, as I mentioned, 39 agencies represented. So great job to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for submitting those submissions for us to evaluate. And it just ends up becoming part of that treasure trove that NAGDCA has. Anyone who has had a chance, and if you haven't, please, I encourage you, get on the NAGDCA website and go to the resource library. The award submissions have been uploaded going back to 2018. So any awards that have been issued since 2018, all those submissions are listed. So you've got over 60 different awards: participant education, communication, plan design, administration, technology, all these great categories that you all as NAGDCA members can go on and see what's out there. And maybe your agency can do something similar or even improve upon what you see out there. And so 39 agencies this year submitted. That's actually an 18% increase from what we saw last year. So we on the awards committee have kind of our internal goals that we're always trying to hit. And we were a little nervous as to how many submissions would we see here for 2020, because certainly we were all shut down. We were on lockdown half the year. And so we had more than 18% more than we had last year. So again, thank you all for submitting. And just to put a number on it, the 39 agencies that submitted, there are about 219 member plan sponsor agencies in NAGDCA. So about 1 in 5 agencies at NAGDCA submitted for an award in 2020 for 2021's Leadership Awards submissions. So thank you again, and we really appreciate that. So let's go over to the next slide, please. And we'll start off with our COVID-19. So this is hopefully a one-time only, although I think we're going to end up having another year potentially of virtual awards, maybe as a category anyway, I should say, not virtual awards ceremony. Hopefully we're doing this in person in Baltimore next year. But we may end up with this as another sort of add-on category for 2021 as well. But the COVID-19 response, here you can see, I'm just going to read the names. I'm actually going to provide just a little bit of background. So we've got $1.3 billion Bay Area Rapid Transit. So congratulations to the team over there at BART. Great job. County of LA, for their Ready, Set, Communicate campaign. County of LA, $20 billion, 401k, 457, 134,000 participants. Then you've got DC with the virtual investment fair, $2.7 billion, 401, 457 plan. They've got about 20,000 participants in each of those plans. So congratulations to the District of Columbia. The state of Hawaii, another one that we see all the time winning awards. So kudos to state of Hawaii Island Savings Plan for your virtual benefits fair. State of Hawaii has a $3 billion plan, 28,000 participants. So kudos for that submission and for that award. And then we've got VRS, Virginia Retirement System. This is their first of 2 awards. In fact, County of LA, this is also their first of 2 awards for their VRS for their virtual pandemic response. VRS, $6.5 billion in their DCP, and VRS serving 700,000+ members throughout the Virginia retirement system. So certainly a lot to do at VRS, and kudos for winning the COVID-19 Response Award. So if we look at the next category, and now the categories starting from here on out. So the COVID-19, because it was an add-on category, the folks winning that category, congratulations, but you're not eligible for the Art Caple President's Award. It's those 4 cornerstone categories, those foundation categories, starting here with National Retirement Security Month. And so you can see CalSTRS, $1.5 billion, first 403B plan that we've got a couple in here as far as award winners. You've got 22,000 participants. You've also got a 457 plan. So kudos there to CalSTRS. City of LA for LA's the Place, $8 billion DCP, Deferred Compensation Plan, 457 plan, 50,000 participants. Commonwealth of Massachusetts with your virtual road trip to retirement. By the way, we noticed that your interstate was 20, I think for 2020. So that was pretty cool how you had that in all your materials. 11.7 billion for the Commonwealth, 111,000 participants. And then you've got MTA, financial wellness. We've heard a lot about that the past couple of days, haven't we? So I think our friends at MTA, and certainly the submission for MTA, might be something that we could all go back and look at as far as a resource in terms of how to do it right. MTA, $8.2 billion, 74,000 participants. And then finally here, first of 2 awards for the state of North Carolina for their enrollment campaign. State of North Carolina, $15 billion, 87,000 eligible participants. Congratulations to all of our National Retirement Security Month Award winners. And if we could go to the next category, please, thank you. So now we're at participant education communication. We got 16 submissions for this category. The last category, by the way, everyone, we had 13 submissions. So participant ed and communication, always a very busy category, very competitive category. Starting off with our friends at Anchorage School District. And so kudos, another 403B plan here, $176 million. You've got a 457 plan as well. It's kind of a startup plan. 2,200 participants in the 403, 250 participants in the 457 plan. Great job, Anchorage School District. County of LA, there's your second of 2 for your Ready, Set, Communicate. And so again, 20 billion, 134,000, hard to get those messages out to so many people, so much information. And so certainly, you know, working through all of that and all of those challenges and doing it successfully, kudos to the County of Los Angeles. Employees Retirement System of Texas, ERS, your summer enrollment campaign. You've got a 401k 457 plan, $4.6 billion. Just under 250,000 participants, 249,000 participants there for Texas. And then there's Mosers. So Rob had talked about that already. And so the increased holiday savings campaign, nice to kind of throw a theme on top of the theme with regard to the holiday savings campaign. And so I know Brooke and her team did such a great job there. $2.6 billion, 78,000 participants in Mosher's 457 plan. And then kudos, New York City Health and Hospitals. Great to see a hospital in here. $3 billion 403B plan. So here's another one. So I really get kind of geeked out, and we on the committee do, when we start to see different plan types in the mix. And so we saw a number of 403B plans this year, and hopefully that continues in the future as well. 40,000 participants, New York City Health and Hospitals. Congratulations to NYC Health and Hospitals, and the rest of the recipients for the Participant Education and Communication Award winners. So let's move on to the next category, Plan Design Administration. We're going to start off with Illinois State Board of Investment, ISB. I think I'm saying that right. And so great job in terms of incorporating so many of your industry partners. And I know we're going to hear a little bit more in just a few minutes from the Illinois State Board. $5.5 billion, 57,000 participants. Just a great submission on that one. Kentucky Public Employees Deferred Compensation Authority. You've got $3.8 billion, the KDC, and 77,000 plus participants. Congratulations, Kentucky. Job well done there as far as your investment redesign. County of San Bernardino, also known as San Bernardino County. Investment lineup enhancements changed over $760 million, about half of the total assets, right around April of 2020, everyone. So that was about when we were at the bottom of the market, and their participants stayed the course. Great job with regard to the communication from the county team there and from their industry partner there. So wonderful job from San Bernardino County, $1.4 billion in assets, 20,000 participants. State of Wisconsin, the defined benefit estimate pilot, WDC, 6.7 billion, 67,000 participants. Great job getting some folks to test drive the lifetime income score and then roll that out on a macro level after you had that successful test drive there. So great job to WDC. And then State University Retirement System of Illinois, for your COVID education communication, SIRS, $3.1 billion, 401 plan, and then you've got that new DCP 457 plan. So a great job well done for plan design administration. And then our final category, last but not least, technology, interactive, multimedia. And we're starting off with the City of Phoenix, the DCP, $2.3 billion for your virtual financial expo. Number of plans there at the City of Phoenix, 457, 401A, and an HRA, the PEP plan there, 20+ thousand participants. So wonderful job there for Phoenix DCP. Maryland teachers and state employees supplemental retirement plans, MSRP. I feel like maybe that I can make that sound shorter, but wonderful job there, Maryland. You're another agency we see all the time receiving awards, and just worthy of them all. Job well done. Social distancing, but not alone. I loved your award submission. In fact, when you said, this isn't a story about technology, it's a story about people rallying around technology. And it just really struck a nerve there. And it ended up becoming a story about technology, but I loved how you approached the whole award submission there. And I know that the awards team loved it as well. State of Florida, information videos, enrollment series. You've got that 457 deferred compensation plan, about $5 billion, 91,000 participants. So a big plan there for state of Florida. Congratulations to you all. Not an easy task to get that out. State of North Carolina, there's the second award for the enrollment web page enhanced experience. Typically, we talked about number of participants. I think this submission is worthy talking about number of employers. The state of North Carolina had 1,000 employers that they had to figure out a way to customize the web pages to help get better results for participants. So imagine that. Talk about a Herculean effort, 1,000+ employers as part of your system, and then figuring out how to customize all of those different web pages to drive outcomes for participants. Kudos, state of North Carolina. 401k, 457, and yes, another 403b there as well. And then VRS, there's your second of two awards for your interactive virtual tools, the mobile app enhancement, how to find your rep. You know, we've talked a little bit about that over the past couple of days in terms of this virtual environment, but still certainly not easy. 837 employers in VRS. So similar to North Carolina, it's not just about how to navigate and get participants, but how do you navigate and get all your employers on board? Certainly no easy task for either of these agencies. So kudos to the winners of the Technology and Interactive Multimedia Awards. And so it's my honor now to introduce the 4 nominees for the Art Caple President's Award. And so those nominees, as you can see, City of Los Angeles, National Retirement Security Month, and then we've got Employees Retirement System of Texas for the Summer Enrollment Campaign, Supporting Retirement Savings Campaign from ISB, Illinois State Board of Investment, and then State of North Carolina Enrollment Web Page Enhanced Experience. I'm going to start off though and turn things over to Stephen Montagna from City of LA to talk a little bit about their campaign, LA's the Place.
Raj, thank you very much. And first, I just would like to say thank you to NAGDA for recognizing our NRSM campaign and giving us the opportunity to share a bit of information about what we did. We hope NAGDA members might find this useful as you look forward to your future campaigns. So for us, each year's campaign is actually one of the hardest things we do, but also one of the most rewarding. The reason it's hard is because we set the bar very high for ourselves and what we're trying to achieve. And we want a campaign that is basically going to meet 6 different objectives. Number 1, it needs to be relevant and appropriate for our 2 audiences, which include our active participants and retired participants. Number 2, it needs to contain some kind of interactive exercise, and that exercise just needs to be fun. It needs to be easy, and it needs to be quick. So because we know that time is short for many. 3, it has to work in just the right amount of educational content without taking away from the fun. 4, that content, that educational content, needs to be in alignment with our 4 primary participant outcome goals, which we update annually, 2 of which are focused on our active members and 2 of which are focused on our retired members. Number 5, the campaign needs to beat the engagement numbers of the prior year. So we measure that by how many people complete our interactive exercise, along with a bunch of other engagement and activity metrics that we look at every year. And last, we need to be accountable for our results. So we report out to our board each year to let them know how we did. So for our 2020 campaign, we settled on a local theme called LA's the Place. We created a quiz, which was asking participants to correctly associate an image of a local landmark with its description. Each question gently sort of worked in a reference to a planned feature, which participants might not have been fully aware of, and then pointed them to resources to learn more. We used all of our available publication resources, emails and postcards and so forth to raise awareness of the campaign. And our result last year was that we were able to blow past our numbers from the prior year. We had over 5,000 participants doing the quiz, which was a 435% increase from the prior year. Probably much more importantly, we saw strong increases in other metrics we were closely watching, such as web page views and account logins, contribution amount changes, and other metrics. So, let me tell you, you might think you need a ton of money or resources to do something like this, but that is absolutely not the case. The real work is mostly the creative time. And yes, that's challenging, but it is also a ton of fun. I think if you were to sort of follow some version of the objectives that we use, get a few people on your team together and start really early, like it's never too early to start on the next year's campaign, and then just sort of work that challenge together. I can promise you that you'll find this to be incredibly rewarding, and I'm sure many of you are already doing all of that. So I hope that you agree this is one of the most fun things that we all do. So I hope that's helpful. In closing, I'd just like to say thank you again. Please feel free to reach out to any of us at the City of LA at any time for help. And thank you just for being such an outstanding team of organizations to work with.
Great, thank you, Stephen. And I wanted to turn things over now to the nominee for the Art Caple President's Award, coming out of the participant education, the very crowded participant education and communication category. Nora Alvarado, who is the Deferred Compensation Program Manager for the Employee Retirement System of Texas. Nora?
Thanks, Ross. So thanks again to NAGDA and the committee for all the work that they have done through this awards. So I wanted to share some information about our Blockbuster Retirement Campaign. Every year prior to summer enrollment, we meet with internal and external stakeholders on how we are going to communicate to participants about saving for retirement. We wanted it to continue to educate and inform state employees and current participants about the benefits of the Texas Saver program during summer enrollment. We focused on delivering critical messages in a way that was accessible, entertaining, and easy to understand, all while social distancing. We partnered with Empower Retirement to create your Blockbuster Retirement Campaign, which utilized multi-phase, targeted, and plan-wide campaign tactics, created to support the idea for saving for retirement that doesn't have to be intimidating. Planning and saving for retirement could be something as simple and enjoyable. So like going to a drive-in movie, all while social distancing, of course. The campaign shared with the target audience that a good retirement script and a supporting cast, participants could be the star of their own retirement picture. This cohesive, eligible state employee and participant outreach initiative was launched during our ERS summer enrollment period. We encouraged employees to maximize the use of investment resources that they had available. We also focused on those not enrolled and those that were deferring the minimal. All through targeted emails, postcards, interactive presentations, pre and post website information, social media posts, one-on-one meetings with our education counselors, along with group meetings, we had successful results. Some highlights from the summer enrollment period, and we continue to do this year over year. We saw over 133% increase in the 401k plan, participants raising their contribution above the minimum of 1%, 97% increase in 401k plan participants setting automatic contributions increases. So going into their account and setting it automatically so that they continue to save and increase into the retirement. We had over 400% increase in the 457 plan, along with them also setting up automatic contributions. So over 7.5 million in new assets under management, which is an 18% increase from the previous year. We continue to, focus on summer enrollment. That's the time period where our employees are able to make their changes for benefits and where we are actually finding results. So it's been great, and we appreciate the nomination from NAGDA.
Thank you, Nora. Those are some, so I think everyone probably noticing a trend here with Stephen's comments and also Nora's comments, just the results, right? They're just off the charts. And so just a great job by them and their teams, and their partners as well, their industry partners, engaging with them as necessary. So now we're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about plan design and administration. And the nominee, the Art Caple President's Award nominee in this category, Illinois State Board of Investment. And it's my honor to turn things over now to Jennifer Coel to talk about that submission.
Thank you very much, Josh. On behalf of the State of Illinois Deferred Compensation Plan, ISB's honored to receive this award in plan design and administration for the enhancements we made to our plan in 2020. We'd like to thank NAGDA and the committee for this recognition. I'd like to take this opportunity to give you a little color on the two key initiatives last year that we undertook on behalf of our participants, along with our consultant RVK, our record keeper T. Rowe Price, and the State of Illinois Benefits Administrator CMS. So the first one I wanted to touch on was reviewing our investment menu to continue to ensure we have the right building blocks in place for our participants. Our plan offers funds with broad investment mandates, diversified portfolios, and with a preference for passive management in our lineup. Together with RVK, we identified 3 areas for refinement. First, within our capital preservation buckets, We merged our money market fund into our stable return fund, which provides better risk-adjusted returns for participants. As well, we wanted to provide more robust building blocks and expand our global market cap coverage with our passive funds in the equity space. And we were also excited to be able to negotiate a meaningful fee savings as part of making some of those mandate changes from the Russell 2000 to the 2500 and the MSCI ACWI US to the IMI version. Finally, we took the opportunity to implement white labeled names to help our participants focus in on the role the funds should play in their asset allocation. We came to these series of enhancements with a strong awareness of how changing fund lineups can be a friction point with participants. And we took a proactive approach and strategy in communicating these changes to allow our participants to continue to take a long-term view on their asset allocation. We were pleased to see the data bear this out. So in this case, we kind of viewed no news as good news. Our participants did not make any meaningful shifts in aggregate in their asset allocation. Changes. As well, we've had feedback that these changes have been quite well received. The other key related to auto enrollment. In August 2019, there were legislative changes in Illinois that required the implementation of auto enrollment for certain state employees. And we undertook a 10-month-long project to implement this, successfully rolled out in July 2020, which enrolls eligible participants at a default 3% deferral rate into the stable return fund, which then will roll them into an age-appropriate target date fund after 90 days if they don't take any action themselves. We're really excited about the outcome from this. Over the first year, which we just passed in June this year, about 92% of eligible auto enrollees participate in the plan, and about 88% of them continue on at the 3% rates. One aspect I'm particularly proud of with this is while the legislative changes were a key driver behind the project, ISB took this opportunity to enhance other aspects of our enrollment and deferral processes to benefit all our participants and to find greater efficiencies and better leverage technology. The outcome of this was not only did we successfully roll out auto enrollment, but we also moved our enrollment process overall away from the legacy paper forms that we had in the past to one that leverages our record keepers platform. We made percentage-based deferrals, not just dollar-based ones, available to all of our participants, which, as you all know, is incredibly powerful. And then we also moved our beneficiary election process away from, again, the paper forms we used on a legacy basis and onto our record keeper platform as well. These changes were driven in part on figuring out how to implement auto enrollment, but they really enhance the experience for all of our participants, making it easier to enroll, to make deferrals, to make investment changes, which we expect will encourage broader participation, engagement, and ultimately further support their retirement savings. The other point I wanted to emphasize with this project in particular was how important the coordination amongst the various state agencies was in the successful implementation and rollout of auto enrollment. So we're particularly proud of the enhancements we made last year to support our participants' retirement readiness. They build on the work we've done in previous years to enhance and refine the plan, including previous work to streamline our investment menu, a re-enrollment campaign, and as well as lowering participant fees. And in that spirit, I thought I'd maybe just touch on a few areas where we remain hard at work to continue to improve the participants' retirement outcomes. First, legislature in Illinois recently approved auto escalation as well. And we plan to explore how that can be appropriately used in helping our participants in the accumulation phase. And then on the flip side, the board is starting to explore topics like retirement income solutions to help our participants in effectively using their savings in retirement. So with that, thank you again to NAGDA for this award and recognition. We're incredibly honored. And please do feel free to reach out to any of us at ISB as a resource. And with that, Rosh, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. That's like, gosh, it's just like 4 or 5 awards in one right there. That's just what a great job you all did in 2020. Our last but not least category, it's my pleasure to introduce the Treasurer of the State of North Carolina, Dale Falwell, and a State of North Carolina Enrollment Web Enhanced Experience in the Technology Interactive Multimedia category. Mr. Treasurer, please take it away.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you for having me. North Carolina used to have a congressman by the name of Howard Caple, and he would go home on the weekends and his mom would make this big spread of food, and Congressman Caple would say, "Thank you." And his mom said, "It just didn't jump up on the table by itself, Howard." This award and this entire process, all the choices that all of your members have had to make to participate in this process, it just didn't jump up on the table by itself. So as a state treasurer in North Carolina, I want to thank NAGDA for considering us. I hope that in some terms that the last will be first in terms of receiving the President's Award. We do what y'all do, and that is we advocate for the invisible. Our members don't know who NAGDA is or even who probably the state treasurer is, but we know who they are. And our role is to do everything we can while they're struggling with food, job, and health insecurity and uncertainty to make it as easy as possible to plan for retirement readiness. We're proud that we have one of the largest DB plans in the United States and one of the most best funded, but that's not enough. And the best way for our members to supplement their retirement is by enrolling in our 401, 457, or 403. And enrollment in these plans is key to our members' ability to be retirement ready. We actually have statistics that show that nearly 80% of those that are enrolled in our plans are on the path to retirement readiness versus less than half of the other participants. Thinking broadly, consumers expect to go online and find out what they need, what they want, both quickly and easily. And our participating employers, which you know can be very strong advocates for all of this, want to give their employees the online resources so that they can offer reliable and relevant information. So we're being considered for this award because we have leveraged our technology to solve for a very large scale need and support a very complex nuances when you have as many employers as we have in North Carolina, while keeping our participant needs front and center. You know, everything that we do in our culture is focused on participant-driven outcomes. The 3 plans that we have are available for over 500,000 public servants who spread out over 1,100 employers, and each employer has the freedom to decide which plans are offered in their benefit packages. We have set out to modernize our webpage that contains static, high-level information about the plans and created an enhanced, customized participant experience reflecting each individual employer's offerings based on the user's inputs. And with a single digital enhancement, we were able to meet the needs of the employers, validate the participant, and create a relevant experience that drives successful results. In short, we can call all of these programs anything we want, but with ours, it's not just a noun, it's actually a verb. And with our participant first driven mentality, that's how we started this whole conversation. The top of the page that you've considered engages the users, explaining how the plans can help participants become more retirement ready and why the plans stand out amongst all of its competition. The user responds by selecting their employer and available plans that are revealed dynamically on the page that is in front of them. The conversation is supported by 3 new animations about investment decisions, how much they have to save, and how to actually get started in saving. The new experience also provides greater transparency through a benefit resource, not only for job candidates, but allowing employers to evaluate what other employers are doing. Let me just say that probably like in your states, we have an employment crisis in North Carolina, especially at the state and local level. The biggest business in this state is the state, and the second biggest business in this state are the local governments. So anything that we can do through these programs to make it enticing for somebody to become a public servant is highly important. In the end, we've created a repeatable and scalable one-stop shop for employees to make enrollment decisions. We've engaged the user by promoting an employer selection and displaying valuable information where they're eligible to join. And as a digital tool, we've leveraged the webpage in large group meetings and one-on-ones that give people access to information 24/7. And we simplify the employer-employee engagement, which delivers a more comprehensive source and for not only enrolling, but getting information on the plan from a single link. The rollout, it was a resounding success, even during the year of disruptions with the pandemic, that has resulted in highly impressive weekly insights. The average number of views and unique visitors based on this rollout increased 10-fold versus our pre-rollout numbers. And we have now gotten 9 times as many enrollment forms that were downloaded, 9 times more than previous. But the real story can be found in the enrollment numbers. It's not enough just to go to a website or get information. The real finish line is, do we get people to enroll? And despite a pandemic-related reduction, the launch of the webpage contributed to a course correction in Q4. We saw a substantial rise in new participants, which increased enrollments over 24% in the Q2, and nearly 5,000 new enrollments. And these are through employees who've been empowered to give themselves a much stronger financial future. And at the end of the day, we've created an experience by customizing information and putting the participant and the conversation first. As I close, I just want to say that we have a large bank here by the name of BP&T and Truist. And the CEO has always said, if you get the why right, you can figure out the how. The team that I'm standing on the shoulders of today, and all the credit goes to them, they focused on the why and getting the why right. What are we trying to accomplish and why? And then they focused on the how. You know, our state has received many NAGDCA awards. And I would say that we have a lot of participants for this award that are most deserving. We don't climb our ladder by pulling people off theirs. We think that an accomplishment is only an accomplishment for as long as it lasts. So we have a lot more to do beyond this. We would be honored to be the recipient of your prestigious President's Award. And then the bottom line is the state of North Carolina's DC systems. We try to be involved in things that we can absolutely be great in. And this is one of those items. So with that, I would like to thank you for considering us for this award. I believe that what we've presented to you is most deserving, and we look forward to the opportunity with the honor of being the recipient. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, for those remarks. And I wrote down something you said initially when you talked about being an advocate for the invisible. I love that. So that was very well said. So thank you all to the Art Caple President Award nominees. It was results, really. You know, all of our award winners today, our leadership award winners, are deserving of those awards. You know, what made these maybe stand out a little bit more? It's some of the results you heard, right? And so you all should be proud of what you've accomplished. But we can only have one winner of the 2021 Art Caple President's Award. And I feel like somebody should hand me an envelope right now. That winner is, drum roll, City of Los Angeles. The balloons, well, I guess over Stephen's head. So yes, I see Mr. Treasurer clapping there. So Stephen, if maybe you have a couple of remarks you'd like to make, I believe the floor is yours.
Wow, it's quite a surprise, and really, I just am very humbled by it. You know, NAGDCA is just such a fantastic organization. I've been working with, you know, so many of you for so many years, and our plan is just very privileged to be part of this organization. I can't tell you on behalf of our board and our staff just how deeply appreciative we are of this recognition. And I also would just like to say to the other nominees, just really amazing work, great work, and it's a privilege. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And again, would just like to acknowledge all of the Art Caple nominees for just exceptional work. And then, of course, all of the winners this year, the Leadership Award winners. I actually went through and did a little bit of math last night, everyone. And it's not perfect, but I just wanted to give you some numbers here. This page doesn't just represent a lot of really cool logos that I'm sure a lot of thought and effort went into, It represents $154 billion of hard-earned money that public sector servants are saving for their future, for their family's future. And you all are helping them save a little bit more so they can take an extra vacation, so they can invite maybe an extra family member or two to the barbecue at retirement. The group you see here, $154 billion in assets, 1.7 million participants. And you don't have to be a huge plan. That's the other thing. So that's why we get so excited to see you in there, Alaska School District, or Anchorage School District, sorry, Anchorage, ASD. We get really excited. You know, yeah, there's a lot of big plans in here. There's even 3 Commonwealths, 3 out of 4. We're looking at you, Pennsylvania, by the way. Where are you? But a lot of big plans, but there can be small plans too. All you need is some innovation, some ideas, some creativity. And we all care about those participants. 1.7 million participants. That's a large city here in the US. So again, just congratulations to all of you for the work you're doing and you continue to do. It's great to hear from Jenny talking about the future at ISB. You know, it's not just, we're not just going to stop and take our award. We've got more ideas. And I know that all of you all on this page have more ideas as well. Just a kind of a shameless plug as it relates to the NAGDCA Awards Committee. We received those 45 nominations this year, 39 agencies. We want more. So those of you that do such a great job year in and year out, maybe talk to some of your peers that aren't submitting awards. Maybe talk to some of your peers that aren't even NAGDCA members. Get them to be a NAGDCA member, get them to submit an award, and have them talk to their industry partners about how easy it can be to submit an award. We just want to get more and more of these awards because it ends up becoming such a great resource. And like Stephen said, it's just plain old fun. And it's such a great resource for other agencies out there. You don't have to be 8 billion or 20 billion. You can be 8 million or 20 million. And so please talk to your fellow NAGDCA members, get them to submit awards, have them reach out to the awards committee. What's the easiest way to submit for an award? We want to see more and more submissions for next year. And again, just can't thank you all enough for the job you're doing. And if we could just go to the next page. I think we have one more page. Maybe not. So there is one more award, and it's a Members' Choice Award. So we're not quite done yet this year. The Members' Choice Award will queue up and it will be eligible. So there's a NAGDCA Connect Awards webinar November 10th. My screen's frozen on everyone's logos, which is a good place to be. So I'm just going to read this. From 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And all of you government members, all of you here, and then folks that aren't even on right now, as long as you're a NAGDCA member, you have the opportunity to vote for your favorite leadership award nomination. The top 10 scoring nominations are eligible, and the winner will be announced. The People's Choice Members' Choice Award winner will be announced November 10th, Wednesday, at that NAGDCA Connect Awards webinar. And so in the meantime, any of you, if you again have any questions, please ask the committee, ask NAGDCA. I'd like to thank the committee members for the work that they do. It's awesome to be part of such a great group of folks that are evaluating such excellent submissions. And this is really just the most fun part of what I do. And kudos to everyone for the work you're doing, again, for affecting and impacting the lives of all these public sector employees that I feel their lives would be worse off if it wasn't for the folks that we have here today. So with that, I'll maybe turn it over to Rob, or that might be the end. All right, with that, let's see, we're at 1:50 p.m. Eastern time. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone who participated. Stephen, Nora, Jennifer, Dale, and then also Rob Beamer for introducing. And thank you again to everyone who participated in this session. And congratulations. to all
Raj.
the winners. Oh, Raj,
Raj,
you there?
Yeah, can I just throw out one thing before we end? Everybody, thank you for participating again. And if you haven't had a chance to complete the conference evaluation, we would just ask that everybody go through and do that. It's very likely that regardless of whether we have an in-person event or not, we will also very likely have the opportunity to tune in virtually next year as well. And we want to make sure that if there is anything that we can correct to make the experience better, by all means, we want to be able to do that. So please complete your evaluation. And thank you again, everyone. We sure love and appreciate you. And we will talk to you soon.